Hey everybody, Josh here. This is a special edition of a Quick Talk podcast. Now, what today's episode is an actual coaching call that I did with somebody in my Automate, Grow, Sell Bootcamp. So I have permission from this person, and it's an interesting type of thing to listen to. This is a real person with real issues, with a real small business, bouncing things off me as I help walk them through some of the options and the insight as I try to give them clarity and direction on what the next step should be for them in their business. I thought it would be a cool and interesting thing for the Quick Talk listeners to hear this type of an interview. It's a little bit long, but it's also real and raw. So if you have time and this is relevant to you and you have a small business, you have questions and are stuck, I bet a lot of the things that come up on my call today are going to be relevant to you. I would appreciate if you have feedback or comments on this. Send me an email to josh@automategrowsell.com. Before we get started, I'm also offering calls just like this for free to you. I'll give a 45-minute coaching call to you for free just to prove to you the value and the insight and the clarity that I can help bring to many, many small business owners. We have a wide variety of people in the boot camp. We have carpet cleaners and lawn care companies and even an in-home air quality company. The point is this: if you have a home service company and you want to grow, if you want to scale, if you want to get unstuck, if you want to have the accountability and the tools and the framework you need, set an appointment so that we can talk. And, during the 45-minute call, I'm going to provide value to you. I'm going to record the call, send it to you later so that you can, have it as a reference point. And I'll also give you a 6-page PDF business snapshot report, which will help you understand where your business is today in terms of the quality of your sales and service and operational departments and all the different systems and things that you should have in those departments. We'll talk about it. It's highly valuable. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very limited because it is my actual time that I'm giving to do this 100% for free. If you're interested in that, just go to automategrowsell.com/45. That stands for the 45 minutes. automategrowsell.com/45. I hope you enjoy today's sample call. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well. It's a real honor to get to talk to you. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. This is a lot of fun for me as well, and I love getting to meet different people and hear their stories and possibly add value to you and see what I can do to help. I mean, I'm a super nerdy business guy, and believe it or not, this is actually a lot of fun for me.
You're a busy guy, Josh. I mean, I've been seeing you post stuff on Facebook and Instagram just today.
Yeah, I stay busy, but you can do a lot of stuff really quick on your phone, and I do have a team of people that help me as well. I have a software business is my primary business, and we have 5 or 6 employees there, and then so I do have help. So I have an unfair advantage a little bit, but it's fun,
Well, it wasn't always that way.
Oh, heck no, it wasn't. No way, man. I started in a trailer park with no money, married at 20 years old.
Wow.
What's your story? Where are you at in the country? What kind of business do you have? What's your deal?
I'm in Orlando, Florida, and I'm doing landscaping. Been landscaping with other companies now, not for very long, just for about 4 years now. And I started my own business last March, so I'm only about 9 months in right now.
All right.
Started off doing landscaping, design, and installation because that's what I had done with previous company I was with. Mm-hmm. And then I started, hearing what you were saying and hearing what other people on YouTube and podcasts are saying. And I wanted something I could automate a bit easier. I'm sure you can automate landscape design and installation, but there's a lot that goes into it. Every project is really different. So I decided to start doing lawn maintenance, thinking that would be something that I could grow quicker and eventually either sell or just kind of step out of the field and run it from the office point of view.
Mm-hmm. What's the name of your company?
It's called Daplin Landscapes. I named it when I didn't know as much. I don't know if that name is going to stick. It's pretty much my last name and first initial. I mean, I didn't want to call it Daniel's Landscaping or something like that. So I thought it was a little different to where I could kind of automate that name.
Okay, so it's a letter D and then you're like Daplin Landscape. Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah, sure. Okay, so you're in Florida.
Right,
I'm going to be in Orlando this winter in January, actually, speaking at a couple different little private events, and
it's obviously awesome down there, especially in the winter time, because I'm back in Michigan now. I don't know if you knew that, but I was in Costa
welcome
Rica.
back to the States.
Yeah, and so in the middle of the frozen tundra, I'll be coming down there. But so okay, so you're doing landscape, and you're right. There's some strategic and technical challenges to train someone to be highly creative with, pricing jobs out correctly, and it would be a trickier thing to automate. So you thought lawn care maintenance, mowing and trimming and all that stuff, right? So you started doing that.
Exactly.
And are you planning on adding additional services, or do you feel like this is your sweet spot and you really want to begin to grow with that side of the business?
I would love to add more services down the road. I mean, but to be honest, like I said, I was trained as a landscape installer and doing designs. And when I got into mowing, I thought it was going to be easy. Oh, I mowed lawns as a kid, but it's actually, I kind of had to reinvent the business and learn everything as I went, buying the right equipment. I mean, I never had trimmed a bush until I was on a client's property trimming the bushes.
It's an art form.
Yeah, it is. It is. I do get good feedback, so I do think I do a good job, but I am very unaware and exactly what my clients are looking for. Because, you could say, well, I'm going to mow your grass for $30 a visit or, $150 a month. But then it's hard to understand what that entails. Is that just cutting the grass, or they ask, oh, you pull these vines over here, well, you do this too, and there's just not a lot of clarity. And I think that's just a part of the learning process. So that's what I'm kind of figuring out right now. I'm a little stressed because there isn't a lot of clarity in my business, because I did switch from something I knew a bit about to something I didn't really know anything about.
Well, let me help give you some clarity, because I can help a lot with this. The first thing is lawn care is a very crowded marketplace, especially in Florida, right? I mean, there's 72 lawn care companies per square foot in Florida, right? So they're everywhere. Right. So what you got to figure out, the number one thing I heard you say is, it sounds like there's a misunderstanding with expectations between you and some of your clients. So you think that they hired you to do A, B, C, and D. They think it's A, B, C, D, E, and F, and then there's some friction, right? And so then it's awkward, and so you end up doing free stuff or trying to take care of them, but it's frustrating. Am I hearing you correctly on that?
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
Okay, so what you can do is make part of your process laying out clear expectations up front. So the thing with lawn care, similar to window cleaning but probably worse, is that it's pretty much a commodity. And that means there's an opportunity for you, because when people price, like for example, one of my good friends here in Michigan, he had a lawn care company. He ended up working for me in my cleaning business as a sales manager for many years too. But he lost an account one time for 50 cents a cut. And I always think that's so hilarious. And it's a true story. And I'm like, you're kidding me. And look, the reason he lost for 50 cents a cut is because, and that's an extreme example, is because he didn't do a good job decommoditizing what he was doing. So he was just another guy with a mower, just like every other guy with a mower, and that was that. So there's little things you can do. It doesn't have to be like some magical fairy dust that you sprinkle in your business, just little things. The way that you do the pricing, the way that you explain your services, the way that you explain those things can separate you miles from your competition. A lot of these guys are showing up with their normal clothes on, writing a price on the back of a business card, and you can take that up, 5 notches and all that. But you can also look for value-added services that you can include. Like, let's say that it only takes you an extra 4 minutes to do some certain thing. That's not a big deal, but no one else says they do it. You make that part of your standard, package, and even though it's not a cost. It's not a cost issue for you. It's a little itty-bitty thing that separates you from the pack. So we need to look at your process. So tell me about your process. What happens when someone calls you for a mowing quote? First of all, do you answer your phone every single time? And then what happens from there?
I answer my phone about 80% of the time. I am I'm sole business. I run it by myself. So when I am in the field and I have the machines going, sometimes I don't pick up. I think my voicemail is very clear and upbeat, and I do think it keeps people around. I usually do get voicemails asking people to call me back.
If you have a missed call but no one leaves a voicemail, do you call them back every time anyway?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay, good.
I'm good about that. And as far as the process goes, it's kind of like I know what I need to be doing, but it's kind of hard to know what to start with first. As long as I can get somebody on the phone, I feel like my odds are pretty good to close that sale. I would say my close rate's about 80% is with the lawn maintenance. The process goes pretty much, I go out to their property, and eventually I would like to be able to do this online with Google Maps. I just don't have enough data yet to do that. But I go out to the property, and they're pretty much flat rate. If it's an interior lot, I give them a price for that. If it's a corner lot, I give them a price for that. I haven't done as much measuring and timing as I would like to do. And after that, they get a welcome email just kind of explaining how I do business, how the billing works. I do have 9 reasons why my company is different.
Nice. I like that.
And I do use Jonathan Potoshnik's service autopilot. I do use that. So I have all my clients, they can pay right online using Blue Pay. A lot of my clients do enjoy that. And right now, since May, I've gotten 30 clients I see on a weekly basis. And then I do also do some installations as well, like on the weekends or when I'm not mowing.
Mm-hmm. How many days a week does it take you to service your 30 clients?
5.
It takes all day, every day, 5 days a week?
I do 6 clients a day, so it takes me about from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Yes, because I don't have
these
all the right
these are like really, really big lawns or something. Doesn't a lawn take 30 minutes to do or something?
Well, I have a walk-behind mower. It is self-propelled, but I'm not riding around. That's in the works, but they are expensive, and I'm a new company. If not, I started with nothing. So that's something I need to get. But, they take about 50 minutes to an hour usually. And when you count in drive time, I don't really know how profitable I'm being right now, just because of the walk-behind mower and density issues.
Well, one thing to not stress out too much, in my opinion, in the beginning is don't become obsessed with profitability yet. What we need to do for you is you have to get momentum. And it's good that you're stressed out and it's good that you're busy. What we got to do is we got to get you to the place where you're so busy, you're working so many hours and you're almost at your breaking point. I don't want you to get to your breaking point, but that's when you create enough volume of momentum to where we can pivot to step 2, right? So you don't want to do things out of order. You need to create a tidal wave of new business. And yeah, you got to work like a gajillion hours a week. That's normal. Just accept that fact. It's not forever. It's for a tiny season in your life. And then we pivot into getting you off the mower, and we can start looking at training people and standardizing the way you do the stuff. You have your 9 points of separation. You're closing 80% of the people. You try to answer your phone. You're listening to the podcast. You're following Jonathan Potoshnik. Look, you have the knowledge you need to win, right? There's not some magical secret thing you'll learn. What we got to do now is build a specific strategy to get you from step 1 to step 2. And so we need to talk about numbers and revenue. And then we need to talk about your market, the seasonality, and then, talk about what your goal is to get from point A to point B so that you can achieve it. So the 30 accounts, how much revenue does that bring in per week?
$4,300.
$4,300. And you're doing this all yourself?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's a lot. Good job. Okay, so you have...
I sold a couple that I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah, I guess so. So these jobs are like $150 per cut type thing on average?
That's correct. I have some that are more than that, and I have some that are less than that.
That just seems so high to me, and I'm not a landscape guy or a lawn care guy, but are these just... They must be big luxury properties with big yards, right?
I did end up landing some lawyers' offices, and they pay me very good to keep their property looking in tip-top shape. And I also do some pottery arrangements and maintenance for some big estates in the nicer parts of town. And that's the easiest work I do, and it's probably the best money I make. I can go out there and make $100 a visit, and I'm not even working extremely hard because they're pottery arrangements. As long as the pottery is looking good, it's good. So that's where I think the extra little bump is.
Okay, so you got revenue. I didn't expect that your revenue would be that high. So here's a different question I wasn't going to ask is why aren't we bringing some people in to start delegating some of this stuff off so you can grow the business?
Well, I have a small plan. You can let me know what you think. I was gonna, get to 30 and then cap it off because I don't want to grow so quick when I don't really have systems in place. I'm worried to, grow too fast. I don't want to grow too fast and have all my clients hate me. So I wanted to get to 30, which I have, and really focus on those clients over the winter. Asking them questions, surveying them, seeing what they like and don't like, and then come spring, hire someone part time to bring me, and then eventually full time to bring me to 60 clients.
What kind of personal income do you need while you're building the business? I mean, I know you have fuel costs and maintenance and all that, but you're making really good revenue with a tiny company with just you. So if you wanted to, you could take a huge personal income out of this. Can you live on beans and rice? I don't want to do that. Right. I'm hoping you don't want to.
Yes, I can. I was able to, I had a nice place I was renting, not really nice, but, it's a small house I was renting with a friend, and I decided, since my parents are so lovely and live close by and they were okay with me going back, I decided to go move with them so I can invest everything into the business, and they were happy with that. Amazing. And I'm happy with that.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Dude, I'm loving everything I'm hearing. People choke their business. You hear me talk about this. One of my friends, Chris Lamborghini's, he lived in a basement, started a business with $200 and stayed there for years. And I remember when his business was doing $70,000 a month, he was still eating, bologna sandwiches, wouldn't go out to eat, wouldn't spend money on anything. This is how you do it. And you're off to such a good start. So let's talk about systems and strategies and all that stuff. So you're going to have the cash flow to invest in the business. You're doing good. You want to really serve your customers at a high level. I think that's right on point. So cool. You're trying to do it the right way, not get out of order with the way that you grow and be obsessed with just more money. You want to have good service and systems and all that. So
can I interrupt just for a second there?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my number one stress is that I am an info junkie. I've listened to like 40 books on Audible this year. I love your podcast. I love Keith's YouTube. I love Jonathan's YouTube. And there's just so much info coming in. I have all the ideas in my head, but I get kind of stuck up because I don't know where to start. I'm like, okay, I need systems. Which system do I need to do first? I'm like, well, how am I going to write these systems? In what order will I write this system? That's where I get confused, and I ended up, to be honest, I end up not doing any of it because I'm overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. I think that's like one of the big stress factors.
I'm taking notes here. Hold on. I hear you. I hear you big time. Look, I can tell you, I've been talking to you for 15 minutes, okay? And I can tell you definitively that you don't have an information problem, okay? You don't need to consume more content. So here's what you got to do. You need to get very in control of your time. And you have to build a strategy. So with systems, where do you start? Yeah, there's a million systems. Yeah, it's overwhelming. What does the word system even mean? Oh, my God, what do I do? I have no time because you're doing 5 days a week, and then on the weekends you get a landscape install. How in the world are you going to sit down and build systems, right? Well, step one is to decide up front what days, what hours you're going to work on the business instead of in the business, right? So you create these concrete barriers in your schedule that you never violate. Let's say, for example, on Mondays, you have a shorter route and you get done at 4 o'clock. Well, you shut everything down, you turn your phone off, you turn your email off, you don't listen to podcasts and YouTube videos, and from 4 to 6, let's say, you work on the business, quote unquote, for 2 hours every single Monday, right? And then maybe on Thursday, you have an hour window where you can do more of that, right? So we need to define when we're going to actually build any systems first, right? And you're in control of your schedule. And before you started your company, you worked for other companies, and someone else was in control of your schedule, right? And right now, you're not behaving with your time management as an executive yet. You're still doing it as a self-employed person, meaning if the phone rings, you answer it. If there's a fire to put out, you put it out. If a customer is mad, you fix it, and that's good. That's important, but you have to do a level above that. You have to actually have these non-negotiable times every week where you're going to sit down with a clear head and work on things piece by piece that are important for your business. And since you don't have a boss, you have to be your own boss. You have to tell yourself you're going to do it and then hold yourself accountable to it, right? Do you have a written schedule for yourself? Not on the client side.
It's not written down, no.
Yeah. And we need to write it down. The other thing we need to do is make sure we're really clear on your why, right, which you hear us talking about. What do you want? When do you want it by? And it has to be specific, So
Okay.
if you're doing X amount in revenue and you say, okay, by next November 2017, I'm going to have a business doing this much revenue with this many staff, with everything systemized at a basic level, whatever your goal is, or maybe it has to do with your family, or I have no idea. You need to write that down and
Right.
become obsessed with that singular statement. It can be 1 or 2 sentences. It needs to have a date on it. It needs to have numbers in it. It needs to be specific, achievable. And then you put it on the truck of your car and you tape it to your dashboard. You put it where you brush your teeth. You put it as a screensaver on your phone. I mean, that's your one goal. And so every decision you make is lined up against that why. So, for example, if you get the opportunity to do an extra one-time lawn mowing cut, let's say, and they call you like, hey, we're selling our house, we just need one cut, but it's got to be done on Monday, and it's during your systems time, right? These are the questions that always
Right.
come up, and you're like, oh crap, what do I do? It's easy to answer those questions when you know what your goal is, what your why is, because you just ask yourself, does doing that move me closer to my why or farther away from my why? And it makes every decision simple, right?
Right. I do see that.
It makes it very, very simple. It's binary. You know what binary means? It's very black and white. You need to make things very simple for yourself. You don't need to create 4,000 systems. You need to focus on some basic stuff at first, like time management, creating space for yourself to actually do it. That's step 1. Step 2 is to pick an area in your business where there's pain and see if you can tweak a couple things to make it better. For example, you already said the expectations for your customers. In 1 hour of you thinking about this, you could come up with something that would improve that. It'll never be perfect, but you could improve it, right? So maybe when you confirm an appointment, you add a part to the process where you get them to really acknowledge what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, but you do it in a really fun way where you still seem awesome, but you're also making yourself clear on what the expectations are, right? For example, and you would write it down and you would save it, and then you did it. You spent an hour, you standardized something, and you did it, right? And then you go to the next
Right.
thing, right? And for you're getting accounts. Usually I coach people that sales is the number one system we need to worry about. You have to drive sales. People spend 16 hours fixing their website, but they don't go get sales. they spend 10 hours redesigning the copy on a postcard design, but their phone's not ringing. It's like, look, you got to go out and get sales. But in your case, you have sales. So what we also want to focus on is retention, which you've already indicated is important to you. And by retention, I mean, how can we make sure you keep all 30 of the people you have? And however it is that you do that, we need to standardize it. So if you're going to send them a survey and you're going to do a thank you card or whatever you're going to do to make them love you and engage with you, write down what you do, and then we'll build a process so that every time you get a new customer, they run through that same process so that it's standardized, right? So they get a new job, then you send them their confirmation email, then you do the expectations call, then you do the first appointment. Maybe at the first appointment you do an unexpected service for them just to welcome them to your company that no other company would do. Then you just do 4 weeks of service, and then they get a thank you card, and then you do 4 weeks of service, and they get a survey, and then whatever that looks like, whatever you want, we just need to write it down. Right? And then right. And so retention is huge, sales is huge. But the next big one for you is going to be employee-related systems. You're going to need to learn how to recruit, interview, hire, train, onboard, and then coach employees. You're going to have to lead other people. So do you have experience with that? Were you a leader at your other company, or were you just a ground guy that labored, or did you have any leadership responsibilities?
No, my title was foreman, and I did pretty well with that. I feel like there's definitely room for improvement. But I'm pretty used to running a crew of like 4 people, at least on an installation job. Mowing's a little different. It's actually really different, and I haven't had anyone really help me with this. I did have some friends, but I decided I just need to be more legit about this, so I let them go. And until I can work on the proper systems and how I want my employees to act and how the things I want them to do, I didn't want to bring anybody on.
Mm-hmm. You're ready to look at this right now. I mean, you can go slow. There's no harm in that. You'll still be successful. but don't wait because you're waiting to have it all figured out. It's like when a married couple says, well, we don't want to have kids because, I got to have 12.6% annualized return on my 401k and I have to have 6 months of emergency fund. And it doesn't work like that. Getting the employee is the thing that will trigger you to actually rise to the occasion and figure the stuff out, right? So if you over strategize before you make your first few hires, you're just, in a way, you're kind of wasting time. You need to just go for it, right?
I agree.
And the tough part about lawn care is the type of people that get jobs like that, they look at your business as a commodity just like your customers do. So they can stop working for you and get another mowing job in like 7 seconds, right? And so that makes it hard. So there's systems for that. You have to make them feel like they're part of something. You bring them into the story. There's ways you can engage and invest in them. You give them a really clear plan on, okay, here's where we start. Here's what you're going to accomplish. I'm going to help you achieve this goal, and then you get a bonus of this, and then I'm going to help you get to this certification level, and then you get a raise to this, and then you give them like a 24-month, roadmap of what they can get to. And then you work that plan just like you would run a customer through a customer life cycle. You take your employees through an employee life cycle, and it will greatly increase the length of time people stay with you and how much they like their job and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like we're maybe talking too fast about too much. So, and I do record this call so I can send it back so I can send it to you and you can listen back to it. But let's recap so far. You need to create a written schedule for yourself that makes sure that you're taking care of executive level stuff like working on your business, system building, right? And you need to have these times each week, as many hours as you can, that are concrete barriers. Nothing's allowed to violate it. If you get that one-time
how would you recommend writing out systems?
The way that I write systems is like this. You start with a mind map. And you just take all the crap in your brain, which is not organized at all and it's a mess, and you just put every single thing on the mind map, even though it doesn't make sense, right? So you're going to like puke all these ideas.
Yeah.
And you keep them short to like, a few words or a bullet point, right? And then you take the mind map and you start connecting the dots together to things that are grouped together and they're similar and they're related to each other, right? So for example, one of the first systems you need to work on is your retention strategy, right? Because you agree that's ridiculously important in your type of business. These people need to keep you hired. If you have 30 and you're getting 3 customers a month, but you're losing 3 customers a month, then you're done. You're stuck, right?
Yep.
So we can't have that happen. So we'd create a mind map, and for retention, we would write down on the mind map and we would put the word experience, and then we put down the word valued, and we put down the word survey, and we put down the word unexpected gift, and we put down the word referrals, and we put down the word whatever, any word that has anything to do with anything that comes to your mind in regards to retention. And then you group things together, right? And then you start taking those groups and you start attaching, maybe dates to them. And so you maybe say, okay, week 1, this happens. Week 2, this unexpected thing happens. Week 3, nothing. Week 4, nothing. Week 5, we're going to do a follow-up call. Week 6, we're going to do nothing, whatever. And then you get this rough, ugly, dirty mind map kind of semi-laid out. The next step when you're kind of done with the mind map is to export that mind map into a Word document, right? Okay. And then you take the Word document, and at the top of it, you put maybe the name of the system, like client retention strategy. And then you put who's responsible for it. And for you, you're not going to put your name. You're going to put the job position of the person that's responsible for it. So in your case, because you do every job position, that can be confusing. But in the future, if you have 83 employees, who would be responsible for holding everybody in your company accountable to making sure that this strategy was happening every day? Maybe it's an operations manager or a general manager, right? So you'd put that at the top of the document.
Okay.
And then you start taking your bullet points and you create sentences out of them and you make them into paragraphs. So you say, at Delpin Landscape, we are committed to blah, 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 blah. This is our client retention strategy. Every new prospect that calls to get an estimate, this is the process. Or I guess that wouldn't apply to client retention, but every new customer that comes on needs to follow this process. So step one, the crew leader doing the job at the end of the job will say this script to the person and give them this $5 Starbucks card and say, thanks, welcome to the family. Step two, on the third appointment, the crew leader does this. On the seventh appointment, the office manager is responsible to call the blah, 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 and ask them how we're doing. And then in step four, this happens and this happens. That's your system. Once that's done, you save it, you print it out, and you put it in a binder. And your binder is going to have one page in it, right? Now,
one at a time.
A year from now or 2 years from now, you're going to have a binder that's going to have different tabs in it. You're going to have the sales, service, and operation departments for your company, and you're going to have different systems in there. Your policies. What happens if an employee is smoking a cigarette while he's mowing the lawn? What happens if all that stuff will eventually come out, and you'll be able to get it out of your head and into the binder, right? And none of this is going to happen, though, if we don't go back to step one, which is you creating concrete, non-negotiable time slots every week that you shut crap down. You're not listening to podcasts. You're working on your business. Maybe you're a perfectionist. Maybe you struggle with feeling like you don't want to do it at all if you don't have all the answers. Is that the case?
I guess it's probably a little bit of both. It's just about knowing what to start on or how I'm going to best use my time. Sometimes I'll start something and I'll be like, is this what I should be doing? I kind of feel like I'm wasting my time. Whether I am or not, I'm uncertain, but it's just about, all right, I need employees, so I need to write this out. But, I need to retain my clients. I need to get new clients. So I'm like, well, I don't know what to start on. And also, the information you just gave me on, writing out this web, maybe on a piece of paper, and then moving that to a doc, and then moving that to a folder, that process, it definitely gives me some clarity, which my brain is enjoying. I'm already thinking, like, all right, this is the time I'm going to block out on Monday to do something like this and to start. It's pretty much just an information overload to the point where I don't know how Josh did this. He said he started with nothing, and now he's got, this beautiful life, it appears. And so it's just kind of like, man, am I doing this right? Am I wasting my time?
You're totally doing it right. You're going to crush it, first of all. Okay, I want to encourage you. You're doing great. People do not achieve the level of success that you've already achieved that fast. It's not normal, okay? You have a great start. But what you've done to get you to where you are today is not the same things that will get you to the next level. You have to keep changing your own behavior as you level up. And it's uncomfortable. You're always going to feel uncomfortable. You're always going to feel intimidated. You're always going to feel like you really don't know what you're doing, because every time you do know what you're doing, guess what? It's time to go up to the next level, which guarantees you don't know what you're doing all over again. So living in that constant state of uncertainty is required. It's required. Tony Robbins says that the measure of your success is directly proportionate to the amount of uncertainty you're comfortable living with. Wrap your head around that.
I love it.
You have to feel that knot in your stomach. If you have the knot in your stomach, you're doing it right, okay? Because you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. I'm not talking about fear. I'm talking about that discomfort of, I don't know what to do. I'm staring at a blank computer screen, and I'm sitting on my systems day, and I got nothing. And so then you kind of like start playing Pokemon on your phone or something. Not that you play Pokemon. Look, you gotta have the discipline. You do it. You might stare at your screen blank for the first hour and 45 minutes of your 2-hour time block. In the last 15 minutes, you write one paragraph. You're still crushing it. You know why? Because 900 out of 1,000 people won't even do that at all. And so you're constantly competing with all those commodity-based businesses around you. And every hour you invest in these systems, they don't know it yet, but you're building a strategy and a machine that's going to absolutely dominate these people. They're not even going to see you coming, okay? They're going to wake up and go, who the frick is this guy? Why is this happening? I'm losing all my customers, right? That's what needs to happen.
I agree. And I think just that little bit of clarity on how you recommend me writing out systems and the time block. I mean, it's kind of stuff that I kind of already knew, but it wasn't all connected. It's just like, all separate words floating around in my head, and now it's like a complete sentence, which I do appreciate.
Yeah, and the other thing is with the internet, it's in my podcast, I'm always really positive, and I try to, help people, and I'm always like, hey, you can do it. And I mean every word. But, you guys weren't with me when it was hard. You weren't with me when I did it wrong and everything was a disaster and I was barely going to make payroll and I didn't know if I was going to get that, commercial account, that if I didn't get it, we were screwed. Look, success is not a straight line that goes up. It's a big mess. It's messy. And it's this big squiggly, looks like a hairball of lines, squiggly, and the trend is upward. But while you're doing it, it feels like what you feel like right now. It doesn't feel like, oh, I totally got this. I'm going to be a millionaire in 18 months. It doesn't feel like that. What happens is you focus on your own behavior. You do what you need to do based on logic and what people like me teach you because it's truth. You do it anyway. Doesn't matter how you feel. And then you wake up and a year or two goes by and your business is really good. And you go, holy crap, this is really working. But it happens slow. It's like watching grass grow, right? You don't. It doesn't seem like it's doing anything, but it totally is doing stuff. And sorry, I'm rambling. I'm passionate, but you're the exact type of person that would benefit the most from something like a mastermind group or my boot camp, because I think you would do well to have accountability. You have enough.
Absolutely.
You have enough knowledge.
Accounting for me.
Yes, you need accountability to make it, because you could have another year go by and still have 30 or maybe 40 customers, but if you had accountability and you were sharpening your sword and you were pushing yourself and you were grinding, maybe you have 100 this time next year, right? I mean, that could literally happen. So
absolutely.
That's an unspoken of element of this, is you have to make your plan and then share your plan with other people and ask them to be abrasive with you and say, look, I want you to hold me accountable for this and call me out if I'm not doing it. It's very powerful just to have another person who gets it to talk about it with once a week for 30 minutes or an hour. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I definitely have looked into it, and I probably will pull that trigger on your boot camp because I've been listening to you for a while now, and I know the knowledge is in there. I know it is, and it's just about, to be honest, everyone's saying, buy mine. They all seem really good. I'm like, well, I don't know
they are
what
really
is going to
good.
be right for me.
Well, yeah. You don't have to have any of them, really. I mean, look, you just need to execute. You know what to do. Right. In any product or whatever, you'll get value out of it. You're going to learn things that will go, holy crap, this is awesome. And then you'll get value out of it, of course. But again, you don't have an information problem. You're going to have an execution problem. The next risk that you're running is actually getting this stuff done and moving up and getting the employee hired and having these things in place and becoming a leader instead of a manager. You pretty much know kind of what to do enough to succeed, but the question is, are you really going to do it? And are you going to do it fast enough? So that would be the value there. I don't push anybody to the boot camp at all. It's not even close to my primary business. It's a lot of fun. We price it pretty expensive so that the people in there are serious.
I agree.
They're serious people. There's over 100 other people in there. There's people with $1 million businesses in the boot camp. There's also people with $15,000 businesses that just started that don't really know anything, and everybody's story is different. So going back for a second, I want to ask you a bunch of questions about systems in your business and if they exist or not. And I'm going to send you this little report that I have, which basically you can print out and you can look at it, and it will give you like a bird's eye view on what is the worst systems in your business and what ones are not bad. And that shows you which ones need to be worked on, right? It's like a visual aid. I put your business's primary pain point as information overload. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the big pain points. Absolutely.
Is there another one? I mean, I want to make sure I get it right. Is that the biggest issue?
I wasn't going to bring it up because I don't know if it's your expertise. Every business deals with it, but honestly, it's just about it's about taxes, honestly. It's just about, I'm saving money for taxes, but there is no clear way of doing it for me, and it's my first year about to go through the big tax season, and I'm just a little daunted by it all. It's scary for me, but I can always speak to an accountant about that.
You have to delegate that to a professional. You have plenty of money.
Yeah.
Don't be a cheapskate. Bring someone in. I would interview 5 or 10 accountants. Find someone who you
Yes. Okay.
connect with on a personal level. Someone who seems wicked smart, like they're sharp. You can just tell they're smart. But also someone who works
Yeah.
with small service companies that really has good ideas. There's one of the podcasts I did was with a tax lady named Diane, and I've heard amazing things about her.
Oh
She'll
yeah.
actually do a free like analysis for you or something. But you can find a local person too. There's zero reason for you to even spend 7 minutes worrying or dealing with that. You need a professional to build that plan for you and tell you what to do.
Okay.
This
I'll
is
get
what
on
you
that.
do. You build a team. I have an attorney. I have money people. I have legal people. I have graphic artists. I'm not going to sit here and graphic design every little thing I need to do. You're at that level. So this is the first step in building your team is getting these people are freaking awesome at what they do. Let them do it. It actually saves you money in the long run. What would you say your why is? What do you want to happen here? If I could push a magic button and magically in 12 months your business would just appear how you wanted it to be, specifically, what does that look like for you?
Well, this is a thought that's always developing, but currently, right now, I would, next 5 years, like to have 500 clients, 15 to 20 people taking care of those clients. I like to have a salary of $100,000 a year. I would like to own a house. I would like to have a wife and a family. Respect in the community, helping my community, just kind of being like somebody in my city in Orlando. Somebody people respect and not recognize that necessarily, but just, I want to be involved. And I feel like I can't get there because my life's kind of scattered right now. And that's the business I feel like kind of gives me meaning and it kind of drives me. It will allow me to do the things that I want to do in the future, in 5 years from now. It will attract all the right things to me, I feel like.
Amazing. I love it. I'm just typing it down. This is what I typed. And you tell me to edit this, okay? I want to get this right because this is going to you. I'm not keeping this, but you're going to have it. And you can tweak it, of course. But I will build a business of 500 weekly clients making a personal income of $100,000 per year while employing 15 to 20 team members over the next 60 months. I will gradually grow into a important person in my community.
I love it. That's pretty much exactly what I'm looking for.
We'll modify this so that it's perfect. Okay, this is a deeply personal thing. Make sure it's correct. Literally print it out and tape it to the mirror where you brush your teeth. Literally put it on the dashboard of your car. Literally. Make it the screensaver on the back of your phone on your lock screen so every time your phone turns on, that's what you see. This has to be what every decision is measured against. Now, I do have one criticism. I'd like to see you revise this and make it a 12-month version. Okay? It's really hard, especially for someone that has 9 months in business, to focus on a 60-month goal. It's very tricky, and you don't need to worry about the end game. You need to worry about the next sprint, the next 12, even 6-month window. We got to have it written in stone. It has to be specific. It has to be measurable, and it's important. So I would take this. I'll leave it as it is, so you can really spend time thinking about it. But very, very important. Also,
yeah, I'll need to do that.
Yeah, and I'm going to go really quickly through a bunch of questions. And you're going to give me a number 1 through 5. And a 5 means that you have this system written down and you're an absolute ninja master expert of the world on this system. So you probably shouldn't have any 5s. And a 1 means it doesn't
Right.
exist at all. A 2 means it exists, but it's in your head. A 3 means it exists in your head and it's sort of scribbled on a paper somewhere, but it's not really formal or whatever. 4 would mean like, yeah, you wrote this down, right? And the purpose of this isn't for me to say, oh, boo-hoo for you, you didn't do this good. This is for you. And so be hard on yourself when you answer these so that when you get this report, you can be really clear and say, okay, this sucks, I got to fix this, I got to fix this, I got to fix this. This is going to be a snapshot of what you need to work on, okay? And some of these questions might not perfectly apply to you, but don't worry about that, okay? So I'm going to say the system, and you're going to say a number, okay? First one is in the service department. So our technicians perform the jobs in the same way every single time, 1 through 5.
2.
Okay. Our technicians use predefined scripts while on site talking with their customers.
1.
We understand the importance of focusing on the customer experience rather than just the service we provide.
2.
Okay. We use daily work logs to manage upsells and other data issues on every job. For example, Mrs. Smith asks you, hey, make sure you close the back gate so my dog doesn't get out. Is that formally documented somewhere so it gets back into your CRM so that you never forget to do that?
Yeah, 1.
Okay. And I understand it's just you, so a lot of this isn't totally applicable yet.
Right, it's all in my head, but it needs to be written out.
This is going to be so powerful for you when you get this in place. So, we ask for referrals multiple times throughout our customer life cycle.
2.
Okay. We identify future opportunities at every job. We document it, and we notify the customer about it.
1.
Okay. That's a big one. So if someone has a falling over retaining wall and you're mowing their lawn, that needs to get documented so you can follow up, of course. Do you have a written process for jobs that need to be rescheduled, or if you're running late? I don't know if that applies to lawn care because it's flexible, but what do you think?
No, I currently don't, so that would be a 1.
Okay. Do you have a written process and workflow on how you order equipment and supplies and maintenance stuff? I'm sure you don't have that yet. But for example, when you have 10 crews going, you're going to have a process for how they tell you, hey, I need a new belt, I need more weed whacker, line, I need whatever you need.
Right.
So that doesn't exist either, right? Do you have a written process on how you inspect and maintain the company vehicles?
No.
Do you have a written safety program so people don't mow their foot off? Okay, and what about understanding the importance of incentives and rewarding your service staff, which you don't have service staff, so I'm sure that's a 1, but it's a great system to figure out over the course of a year, how many times are you going to absolutely just high five and love on your employees in a way that's predefined and strategic? They don't know it's predefined and mechanical like that, but to them it feels random, but it's a very powerful thing. Okay, operations. You answer your phone every time.
3.
Okay. We have a systematic process and workflow for all the different types of calls you receive, right? So if you get a commercial call that wants a gajillion-dollar bid, you have a process and a way you use your CRM to set that up, as opposed to someone who calls and they're an angry customer, or as opposed to a person calling to just schedule service.
Right. That's a 1 as well.
Okay. Do you manage your finances and your bookkeeping in a systematic way every single day?
I would say that's a 2.
Okay. And do you keep track of relevant information and future opportunities inside your CRM? Kind of touched on this before.
I don't, so
Okay.
1.
And you use a CRM to schedule, right? That's what Service Autopilot's for you, right?
Yes, I do, but I don't. I have the system, but I don't use it as often as I should.
Okay, so 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you communicate expectations properly to customers and payment arrangements at the time you schedule the job?
I would say I give 2 on that.
Okay. And do you commingle your personal finances with your company finances, or is it totally separate?
It's definitely mingled at this point.
Okay. We want to not do that anymore. Do you have company-wide weekly team meetings? That would be with yourself, so that doesn't apply. Do you have a written reward and disciplinary process? You don't have employees, so that doesn't apply. Do you have a year-long marketing calendar with a strategy? Okay, in this season, we're going to focus on this. We're going to do this amount of direct mail, this amount of phone calls, this amount of that, this amount of door hang, and then in this part of the season's a dead zone, but then we're going to do this and this. Do you have that?
No. Okay. 1.
Do you have written down daily, weekly, and monthly revenue goals for your business?
No.
Do you systematically call your current customers on some sort of a reoccurring basis, like quarterly checkups or something?
No.
No. Do you have a written budget?
No.
Okay. Do you have a written recruiting, interviewing, and onboarding strategy? Like, where do you find people that would be freaking awesome employees? How do you interview them? What do you say? What does your interview worksheet look like? Do you have a formal job application? And if you hire them, is there a plan on how you onboard them, get their information, get their direct deposit, set them up on payroll, all that?
No, there's no plan.
Okay. And do you send a thank you card after every job? Doesn't really totally apply to lawn care because you see them every week. That would get a little weird. But do you thank your customers somehow, at least when they initially hire you? to show gratitude
Not
to them?
systematically.
Okay. That's a one.
Not systematically, no.
But you do sometimes, and it's in your head?
Well, yeah, I do. I kind of just rely on, like, my charisma to get by, but it's not systematically written out like it should be for someone else to do it.
Gotcha. What about a follow-up phone call maybe after the first job to make sure they don't have any questions?
Not for my lawn care, no. The landscaping jobs are a little bigger, absolutely, but not for what I'm focusing on now.
You know how much it would blow someone's mind to get a call from their mow guy, be like, hey, we came out last week, we did your lawn. I want to make sure that we're doing it exactly the way you want. Can you imagine? Like, who does that, right?
It would be great. I need to do that. This is the kick in the butt I need, and all the things they're asking me, these are, like, light switches turning on. Like, that's one thing I need to focus on.
This is
Just
what the
one of those
Bootcamp
questions
is. Every one of these things plus more is broken down. It walks you through. There's a community behind it. You get 3 other calls with me to do this type of thing. I would strongly consider it. Strongly consider it, okay? My Bootcamp to me is like a little family, and I've actually told people no that try to give us money to join the Bootcamp because I want the right types of people in there. It's got to be a culture fit. Look, the Bootcamp's not going to change your life. You're going to change your life. But when you have people that are like you, they're positive, they have dreams, you want to be a pillar in your community, you want to create jobs. I mean, that's awesome. That's America. That's why I love this country. I want people with that mentality in the Bootcamp. So you would just have a lot to add value to add to people, and it will be really fun to watch your business grow. Because you've already accomplished a lot.
Hey, thank you guys for listening to this sample coaching call. I know that many, many of you have a vision for what your business should be like, and maybe today it's not exactly there. Or maybe you have a young business and you don't know where to start. Or maybe your business is seasoned, but you're stuck. Look, I'm not Yoda or anything like that, but I have been there and I've done it, and I have a lot of things I can bring to the table. And in my Automate, Grow, Sell Bootcamp, there are ridiculous resources, accountability, mastermind group, all kinds of things included that can help you get to where you want to go. And like I said in the intro, if you have an interest in speaking to me directly about your business specifically, now is your chance, but you got to take action. There's limited spots. I don't accept every single appointment. I do vet them a little bit just to make sure you're a good fit. But there is the opportunity for me to spend 45 minutes with you specifically talking about the stuff you're going through and adding value to you. It's not a sales pitch at all. It's 100% focused on serving you. It's a great opportunity. I love what I do. I love working with people. So here's the deal. If you want to set up your free call with me, where I'll give you a 6-page PDF business snapshot report on your business. I'll ask you a lot of questions. I'll dig deep into your pain points and try to serve you. If you want that, you need to go to automategrowsell.com/45. Now, that's just the numerals 4 and 5. automategrowsell.com/45. Do it now while there's still availability. It will be for a short time. We're trying to bring a few new people into the boot camp. After that, that will be it. Thank you guys for listening. God bless. Have a great day.